If your relationships don't feed you, they're draining you. By day, I'm a healthcare innovation attorney, but all day, every day, I am the liberated lawyer, and I'm on a mission. I help high achieving women break free from the boxes that success built so that they can finally live a life that is fulfilled, fit, and free. I'm Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes, Harvard trained attorney with a PhD in organizational leadership, award winning author, TEDx speaker, bodybuilder, senior model, and your go to badass girlfriend when it's time to reinvent, reset, and rise. From the boardroom to the bodybuilding stages, I've lived life in the end where we don't have to choose between being successful or fulfilled. We can use the power of our choices to create a life that is successful and fulfilled. And now I coach other powerful women to make powerful decisions that align with the life they desire and deserve. So, if you're ready to stop settling and start designing your new you that will deliver the you that is successful and fulfilled, you are in the right place. Let's get it. So, I have introduced the concept of being successful and fulfilled, and it is based on a foundation of fulfillment, fitness, and freedom. And today, I want to explore the first foundation and the petals within fulfillment. The petals within fulfillment, I want you to imagine this like a rose. It is something that blooms, the petals go together, and they create something beautiful for you. Our relationships are foundational to our fulfillment. We don't live in a world that is without people. And regardless of how fantastic we are, we can't live without other people. We don't live on islands. We don't live in isolation. So our relationships are foundational to who we are. So when we think about our relationships, there are three ways or three types of relationships that we have. Our family, the relationships we don't choose. Our friends, the relationships we do choose. And our romantic relationships, the people we love. So let's start with family, the relationships that we don't choose. You know, we are born into a family, and our families look different. There's no one size fits all, but we are born into a family. And we don't necessarily get to choose how our family looks, how our family functions, or who is in our family, but we do get to choose how we relate to those that are in our family. And as children, certainly, we have less power. But as a grown-ass woman, we have all the power to set boundaries that help us to identify who we are in relationship to those that are in our families. So you are not just a person in a family. You have your own identity and you have your own power to create boundaries that enable you to craft healthy relationships with those in your family. Our friends are relationships that we do choose. Certainly, there are people in our work environments, in our church, in our neighborhood, in our circles that we happen to be in that can become our friends, but we have the power to create our own circle of influence that aligns us with people who are aligned with our purpose and values. And this doesn't mean you have to get rid of anybody in your life. You certainly have the power to do so. But just like you do with your family, you also get the ability to create boundaries. But the beauty about our friendships is We get to choose how they influence our lives. We get to choose who we connect with, who we remain connected with, who we reconnect with, and which ties we untie. So, our friends can be a source of power for us when we are aligned in vision, in purpose, and in spirit. Our romantic relationships are very important to our success as well. We all deserve love, and love shows up in many different ways. But as we are developing romantic relationships, it is important that those relationships stem from self love. You cannot love another until and unless you truly love yourself. The definition of relationships or how you define relationships is often defined by how you love yourself. And when you are able to love yourself and have self respect, self control, and self fulfillment, you are able to be more fully present in a romantic relationship and give love and receive love from others. I had to learn this the hard way. I lost my marriage and found myself. After 21 years of marriage, it all ended. And, I felt betrayed and abandoned and heartbroken. Where did my best friend go? Because regardless of what happened in the end, I married my best friend. And just like any friendship, that friendship evolved and that relationship dissolved. But of course, as I healed and as I learned to appreciate that evolution, I had to ask myself, where were all the people that cheered for the Huxtables but vanished once that fairy tale ended? The evolution of that romantic relationship and the friendships that were connected with it caused me to question everything, quite honestly. It caused me to question my own relationships, my own self worth, my own identity. And all of that led me to eventually turn inward. And I had some powerful decisions to make for myself. I love the word decide. At the heart of the word decide is the Latin word side, and it means to kill or cut off. Now, we ain't trying to kill nobody, but we do want to cut off. And when you make a decision, you cut off all alternatives except for the movement, action, person, circumstance that is in alignment with who you are. So, in every relationship, you have powerful decisions that you can make. For me, I decided to create the best version of me, not for anyone else, but for myself. If I could show up and be the best me for me, I could show up and be the best me in any relationship, love or otherwise. I ended toxic friendships, those that no longer served me, no longer serve the vision and purpose I have for my life now. I even blocked some people. I blocked friends and family members. And that wasn't to be ugly or to cast shade or to be mean, but to exercise the power of setting healthy boundaries that allow me to heal and to live in a healthy space. So I decided that I did not have to remain connected in any relationship that caused me pain. And I set these sacred boundaries that allowed me, again, to be the best me that I could so that I could be the best me in a relationship. And most of all, I stopped proving and started protecting. I don't have anything to prove to anybody, and neither do you. We are who we are. And certainly we have to be self aware and account for the things in our lives that we need to change to be better people, period. But we also don't have to be less than, and we don't have to live up to anyone else's expectations that are less than who we truly are. You ain't got to prove nothing. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. And I stopped chasing and started choosing. I don't have to chase after anyone for their affection or love or approval. I have to choose myself and choose to show up as the highest and best version of me, and the people for whom I am destined will appreciate who I am. Oftentimes, we're trying to prove to others that we're enough, and they're not even the people for whom we were designed to shine. Your shine does not have to be dulled by anyone else's vision of your life for you or anyone else's expectations of what a successful woman ought to be with or what a successful you ought to be. You get to choose that for yourself. And through all of this, I learned the most powerful truth. Self-love is the foundation for every relationship worth having. Do you love you enough to be the best you that you can be in any relationship? Now, I love deeper. I choose better. I trust myself more. And I desire to teach other women to do the same. Because the love that heals must start from within. The last petal of fulfillment is purpose. As you evolve to be the best and highest version of yourself, you create other relationships that are healthy and healing and full of love. You are able to fully step into the purpose for your life. Each of us exists for a reason. We are more than our jobs. We are more than our titles. We are more than being mothers or wives or sisters or friends. We have a purpose to fulfill in this life. So here's some questions that I'd like to ask of you, or ask you to ask of yourself. Where am I performing in relationships instead of receiving? What do I need to be emotionally fulfilled and to be emotionally whole? How can I understand and appreciate that I am enough? How can I make powerful decisions to improve myself so that I can be better? Period. Powerful women ask powerful questions. And I urge you to ask those questions of yourself and be honest and be open and be ready to discover the real you. You deserve joy, period. You deserve joy without guilt. Remember that relationships are the basis for you being able to fulfill your purpose. We do not live in this world alone, and you don't have to go through this self-discovery alone. I invite you to have a revelation conversation with me where you can have a safe place, a safe space to explore who you are, who you desire to be, and what is the pathway in order for you to get there. Remember, joy is not selfish. Joy is sacred. You deserve joy, period. So if you've lost yourself in the hustle of serving others, proving to others that you are enough, and healing from toxic relationships that have plagued your life, let's talk. Remember, life is too long to be unfulfilled. I invite you to book a revelation conversation at everythingideserve.com. You deserve to reclaim joy through your relationships.